As Russia-Ukraine war enters its fourth year, a resolution drafted by the United States and another drafted by Ukraine and backed by Europe calling for an end to the war are set for votes at the United Nations. Ahead of the vote, Washington has called on Ukraine and Russia to back its plan to end the war. The U.S. will veto any amendments to its Ukraine proposal at the Security Council. However, Ukraine has told the United Nations that no country will be safe if aggression is justified. The United Nations General Assembly is expected to vote first on the Ukrainian resolution, followed by the U.S. resolution. The United Nations Security Council is expected to hold its own vote on the U.S. resolution later in the day.
The draft resolution submitted by the United States makes this very point. Our draft implores a swift end to the conflict and further urges a lasting peace between Ukraine and Russia. This is what is needed now, and we urge all member states, including Ukraine and Russia, to join us in this effort.
The U.S. draft resolution, as we know so far, has just one operational paragraph. The U.S. urges a lasting peace between Russia and Ukraine and urges a swift end to the conflict between the two countries. If adopted, this would mark the first substantive Security Council resolution on Ukraine since Russia launched its invasion of the country. The U.S. drafted measure does not mention Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which began 3 years ago. It uses the words like conflict instead of war or invasion. On the other hand, the Ukrainian resolution says the Russian invasion was persisted for 3 years and continues to have devastating and long-lasting consequences not only for Ukraine, but also for other regions and global stability. It calls for a de-escalation, an early cessation of hostilities, and a peaceful resolution of the war against Ukraine. It highlights the need for the war to end this year. At the United Nations Security Council, a resolution needs the support of at least 9 of the 15 members, with none of the permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, or US, using their veto powers. The US measure is expected to have enough support. Speaking at the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says that countries must spare no effort to bring an end to war in Ukraine.
Session under the weight of a grim milestone, the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in violation of the UN Charter. More than 12,600 civilians killed, with many more injured. Entire communities reduced to rubble, hospitals and schools destroyed. We must spare no effort to bring an end to this conflict and to achieve a just and lasting peace in line with the UN Charter, international law and General Assembly resolutions. Conflicts like the war in Ukraine exact a heavy toll.
French President Emmanuel Macron is holding talks with President Donald Trump on the sidelines of Ukraine peace talks. Macron says that he planned to tell Trump the US leader cannot be weak in the face of Putin. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is due to visit Washington on Thursday for similar talks. Like Macron, he has emphasized the need for Ukraine's sovereignty to be at the center of any peace efforts. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.